Awesome.
Yes. I think slowly I will start, not to keep the other people too long. I will do the opening. Şimdi önce herkese misafirlerimize hoş geldin demek istiyorum. Ufak bir teknik bilgi vermek istiyorum. İngilizce konuştuğumuz zaman da aslında aşağıda FR'yi seçtiğinizde çeviriyi duyabileceksiniz. Onun için çeviriye ihtiyaç olduğunda lütfen alt siyah barda dil seçeneğinden FR'yi seçin. Her ne kadar Fransızca gibi gözükse de o Türkçe çeviri olacak. Şu anda ben konuşmamı iki dilde de yapmak istiyorum. Çünkü hem yabancı hem Türk misafirlerimiz var. Yes, I would like to welcome all. Bugün çok heyecanla beklediğimiz aslında bir etkinliğe ev sahipliği yapıyoruz. Sayın Şef, gerçekten çok heyecanlıyım aslında. Christina Bowerman'ı aslında bir sene önce Türkiye'de farklı bir etkinlikte Türkiye'de ağırlamıştık. Ve o günden beridir de aslında onu gene burada ağırlamak, hatta Le Cordon Bleu tesislerinde ağırlama hayalini kuruyorduk. Fakat malumunuz bu şu andaki korona yüzünden birazcık daha farklı bir çerçeve içinde burada olmamız gerekti. Evet, peki şimdi hemen hızlıca İngilizcesini de söyleyeyim. Galiba burada bir şeye geçenler oldu, çeviriye geçenler oldu. Yes, so basically we were looking forward for this event because last year this time, actually Christina was in Turkey in a different event in Istanbul. And this is where we met her. And we were dreaming of having her in our premises in Le Cordon Bleu since then. But it turned out that we have in a different event, and unfortunately it's virtual at the moment, but we are hoping that it will be face-to-face very soon. So in the scope of Italian Culinary Weeks, we are hosting Christina, but I would like to give the word first to Ms. Dilek Bil, who is the president of Accademia Italiana della Cucina Istanbul. She would have few words about this week and about the Academia, and then we will continue. Dilek, it's your turn.
Thank you, Defne. Thank you. Dear students, dear participants, thank you for being with us today. Gastronomy is one of the most profound expressions of a country's culture. It is the history and life of its people, and it differs from region to region, village to village. The cuisine tells who we are, discovers our roots, and represents us beyond borders. It is the result of tradition and innovation, therefore it has to be protected and handed down. I'm the president of Accademia Italiana della Cucina Istanbul chapter, and Accademia is a cultural institution of the Italian Republic, and it protects the traditions of the Italian cuisine and also develops relations with other countries to advocate and create exchanges. We are here today in celebration of the 5th edition of the Week of Italian Cuisine, Settimana della Cucina Italiana. The fundamental purpose of the week is to emphasize on Italian cuisine, which I think would set a great example for us. Agri-food industry is the wealth of a country. Italy has come a long way and we have a lot to learn from this great example. As you may know, the agri-food is the only industry that resists the coronavirus emergency, and the Mediterranean diet is seen as a defense tool against the possibility of getting sick. This enormous heritage, as it is subject to climate change, as well as to changes in the domestic and international markets, must be protected and equipped with strong instruments. I now would like to express my special gratitude to Defne Ertan Tüysüzoğlu, Operating Director of Le Cordon Bleu Turkey, and the Özyeğin University for hosting us. And of course, not but the least, my special thanks goes to our special guest chef, Christina Bowerman. Thank you, Christina, for being with us. Thank you, Defne.
Thank you, Dilek. Thank you very much. And I would like to also give some words to Mr. Luigi Gentile, the commerce attaché, Italian commerce attaché.
Thank you very much, Daphne Hanem, and thank you to Zhejiang University for hosting us today as well. It's been a very important partnership, and we look forward to cooperate more in the future. I also would like to thank Accademia della Cucina Istanbul chapter and its president, Ms. Dilek Bil, who helped us a lot this year as well to organize a series of events. And I would like also to organize Ambasciatori del Gusto, which is an organization of Italian chefs that are really making a huge job to promote authentic Italian cuisine worldwide. As Daphne said, we are here in the framework of the 5th week of Italian cuisine in the world. It's an initiative of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which was created 5 years ago and repeats every year. So you may ask why we need to promote Italian cuisine, which is quite popular worldwide already. The point is that we really love our cuisine and we want to go beyond stereotypes. Italian cuisine is actually something which is so linked to Italian culture, Italian economy, but also Italian creativity and capacity to innovate. This is the spirit of Italian cuisine, to present an accurate and up-to-date image of Italian gastronomy worldwide. Let me say also a few words about how we can do more with Turkey. I've been living in Turkey for more than 3 years now and really believe that we have so many things in common, also from the point of view of the cuisine and of gastronomy. We both share a Mediterranean heritage, and we could cooperate much more to promote Mediterranean diet as a tool for health, first of all, and for culture as well. Secondly, we both have a huge heritage in terms of gastronomy that we are both very proud of. 2 years ago, we did this publication together with Turk Patent in Turkey, and we presented some Italian products which are called geographical indication, together with some Turkish products which have the same designation, such as the Malatya apricots, for example, of the Aydın fig, which are recognized at European level. I think this is an heritage we have in common, and in our cultures, we both value these products so much in a unique way. I'm sure that if I go to Izmir and I say that the fig from Aydın is better than the fig from Izmir, that would result in a big fight. And this is something good, actually, something nice, because in Italy it's the same. That's why I think we have a lot in common. Finally, let me say I'm really grateful to Chef Bauerman. I am a big fan of the chef. You mentioned her visit to Istanbul last year, and I still remember the pasta with seafood she did last year. And so I'm really sorry that we have to have this meeting virtually, but on the other hand, the online instrument have been also very important to reach such a large public. So, you know, on one hand, I'm sad we cannot actually taste the creation of Chef Bauerman, but on the other hand, I mean, it's really great to be with you tonight. And I thank you again very much for your kind hospitality. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Luigi. Before giving the word to Christina, actually, I would like to show something. And we have a small contest as well for something which is very actually cherishable for me. So as I said last year, Christina was with us. I'm sorry, the picture is not showing excellently, but she signed a cordon bleu hat for us. So those who would be, actually, let me do this. I think that would be easier. Terribly sorry. I just need to probably turn off my, yes, so this is much better. So as you can see, Christina signed us a cordon bleu hats last year. So the one who shared the lovely recipe, the picture, and the rules would be posted in the chat in a minute, would receive this beautiful hat signed by Chef Christina, which is
That's awesome.
Yes. Okay. So Christina, I wouldn't let you wait any longer. We are so excited. The floor is all yours.
Great. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It is an especially great pleasure to be with you. People who know me know that I love Turkey. I love Turkish food. I love Turkish ingredients. And honestly, I cannot wait to travel to either Istanbul or Izmir or Ankara, wherever it is, I don't care. But as long as I am in Turkey. I've been using a lot of Turkish ingredients because I think, as you all mentioned, there's a lot of affinity between the Turkish cuisine and culture and the Italian one. Now, a couple of things that I think it would be kind of cool to mention. First thing, I graduated at Culinary Arts with a Cordon Bleu program. So with the Cordon Bleu, I have a special affinity. And I think that I would not be where I am had it not been for the education that I received through the Cordon Bleu. Not that I think that French cuisine is better than Italian, you know, we want to mention that, but the basis and the solidity that I had, that I received through the Cordon Bleu is absolutely uncomparable. I am very strong in education and in whatever it is that needs to be done in the kitchen. And I think the Cordon Bleu, right at this point in the world, and it has been for a number of years, I don't even know, gives you honestly the strongest education in the kitchen world. And especially for women, it is extremely important that we are not only able to do things, because if you come to Italy, but it's the same in the Turkish world, probably you will find a lot of women chefs, but the culture that the Academy and the Cordon Bleu program gives you is absolutely uncomparable, unparalleled to any other one. So sorry to say that as an Italian, but it is the truth. Second, the Accademia della Cucina Italiana. I'm going to tell you one anecdote that probably will make you laugh. The very first event that I have done, and I am talking about January 2006 in Glass, was for the Accademia della Cucina Italiana. I know a lot of responsible for the different areas, and I was extremely delighted to see that the Accademia della Cucina Italiana is very popular in Turkey too. So now, with no further ado, we will move on to the recipe, which is of course a condensation of Italian cuisine, but at the same time, my heritage. I'm Italian. I was born in the south of Italy, so I'm a strong woman, you know? And then at the same time, though, I lived half of my professional adult life in the United States. People might think, oh, United States, you eat very badly there. It's not true. And in fact, if you think of a lot of products and a lot of dishes that are actually provided in Europe are actually from the United States. Of course, we are lighter. We have a different approach. We have the Mediterranean diet behind us. And as you know, the Mediterranean diet, which of course includes Turkish diet as well, is one of the most popular one, but not only that, it is also one of the healthiest ones. So the ingredients that I'm going to use today are honestly representing the Mediterranean diet. Let's list them one by one. Zucchini, something that you find very easily in your market as well. And now, and you guys are mastering this, you have like one of the greatest botarga. I don't know how to translate that in Turkish, but in English it's dried roe. that you can find in the world. As a matter of fact, one of the best bottarga comes from Turkey, which is preserved in beeswax. It's honestly one of the best things I've ever tasted. Anchovies. Why do we use that? We use that because it's a local fish, but then at the same time, when preserved either in salt or oil, gives you the sapidity that we need in every single dish that we do. Gives the so-called umami flavor. Use, actually, it's colatura de lici, which is basically the juice that comes out from the fermented anchovies. And again, I prefer to use these kind of ingredients instead of just salt. It's so much better. You give depth to your dishes. It's not just salt. It's salt with something else. It's the umami flavor. But then I have like a variety of vegetables here. I have spinach. The only reason I use spinach is because spinach is always considered a silly vegetable, you know, like iceberg lettuce. People think that spinach are like nothing. And in fact, you can substitute that, but you need like a neutral flavor. I use this so that whenever I'm gonna go blend the zucchini that I'm gonna cook, the actual chlorophyll, so the green part, stays green. And spinach have pretty much a very strong chlorophyll, like parsley, for instance. I'm trying to speak slow so that it can get translated the right way. So then I have mint, and you guys have excellent mint. Fennel, actually it's fennel fruit. And then I'm gonna add some vegetables like carrots, easy. Some orange juice, and some radish. But then I have like one secret ingredient, and you have that too, because you guys have a very similar cheese that can be used, but this is the heritage from my region, which is basically ricotta salata. So it's ricotta that has been aged and gets quite hard. At the same time, you can grate it on top of the pasta or whatever it is that you like, and that gives you, again, the sapidity that you need. So again, salt is very nice. It's actually an enhancer, a flavor enhancer. But if we can use ingredients that have the same, the same sapidity, but give depth to your dishes, just go for it. So let's start. First thing, we want to cook the zucchini. So what we're going to do, because we're going to blend them, we really honestly don't care how we cut them, as long as we have like the pretty much the unhomogeneous cut. So I'm going to cut them in half. And I'm going to cut them in pieces. Whenever, I'm sure that all the people that are following this class already know how to cook, but just a couple of kind of like advices. Whatever you cut, try to keep your middle finger in front as a form of guard. So whenever I cut it, as you can see, I'm gonna cut them, keeping my middle finger right in the front. And that's one of the reasons for which I don't need to look at what I'm cutting, because my middle finger, my hands, are actually the, my eyes. One more. And then we are going to do a garlic oil, in which we are going to saute together with the anchovies, the zucchini. If you have any questions whatsoever, I'm sure you can ask them through the chat, and I will be more than happy to answer. Now, whenever we turn on the pan, to put olive oil, because of course you have like great olive oil. I'm involved in Turkey in 2 places, in Izmir and also in Istanbul. We're actually launching like an e-commerce fresh sauce and fresh pasta to deliver. And you have like one of the best olive oils, again, that you can find. So I was lucky enough to taste some that were awarded like the best olive oil in Turkey. We're gonna wait for a second that the pan gets hot. One of the reasons, because you're gonna end up actually using less oil that you need to. One more. We're gonna put it aside. And we're gonna use garlic. Of course, garlic cannot. Let me lower this. The heat, the smoke that you see here, don't worry about it. It's just a pan and a little bit of leftover water. We are going to crush and not cut or mince the garlic. One of the reasons is because we want the flavor, but we don't want the garlic to overpower. The garlic, that the less it's exposed to oxygen, the less it develops that fastidious, sometimes smell and flavor by garlic. In Italy, for instance, a lot of people, they do always say, I don't want any garlic and onions, because sometimes they are like overpowering. So I always say, I don't use garlic straight as you can imagine, but I infuse the oil with the garlic. So now, you see, I can smell it right here. I wish you could as well, but I'm sure that you're doing the same in your own house. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to eliminate this garlic, because I got the smell and the flavor that I needed to. And I'm going to throw it in, you know, in little baskets that I have here. Okay. Once I have this done, what I'm going to do is that I am going to higher slightly the heat. And the reason I do that is because as soon as I'm going to put any other ingredient, in this particular case is the zucchini, the temperature will be lower. You know, like whenever you're going to put something in the oven, you always put your temperature higher than you need it to. And the reason is because whenever you open the oven and you put your stuff in, it will be necessarily lower than you need it to. So at this point, what I'm going to do, and you can do that earlier, it's not a problem at all, but I always make sure not to burn my stuff. I'm gonna add anchovies. Again, you can do it earlier, but you need to pay a lot of attention. Otherwise, the anchovies are gonna burn and it's not going to be a nice smell. The anchovies will melt basically into the cooking process. Now I'm gonna let them cook. To make things easier, I'm gonna cover almost totally, but not totally, because I want actually the water coming from the zucchini to evaporate. I want really a condensation of flavor of zucchini. In the meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit of the vegetables that we are going to add to our pasta. I'm gonna try to cut them julienne, and the reason I do that is because I want them to melt, basically, to become part of the pasta, so that whenever you're going to use to kind of roll up in your fork the pasta, you find a little bit of these vegetables. Okay, so we're gonna put them right on the side here. See how condensation water and with the saltiness of the anchovies, the water will come out even more easily than it would have without. We wait until the zucchini are soft. We don't want them overcooked. And the reason is because in the Mediterranean diet, as you know, we use a lot of vegetables that are basically not raw, but just slightly cooked. The reason is because you know that whenever we cook vegetables a lot, we are going to basically eliminate a lot of the nutritional values. Now we are going to cut. We can use a mandolin for that. A little bit of our radish, very carefully, because you can cut yourself, especially if your knife is very sharp, as you generally need it, especially when you cook vegetables, when you cut vegetables, sorry. Okay, so we are going to put them right here. See how transparent that they are? And these are two slices, otherwise it'd be, for one, it would be this. Transparent. The radish is very invasive, but it gives a nice, like, spicy kick to whatever we are doing. Another minute and we are ready to blend the zucchini. Okay. Spinach. Now these ones are actually pretty big, so we are going to eliminate the stem. Do not throw away the stem. The stem, you will use it for anything else, but do not throw them away. You can make a spinach cream using the stem. In this particular case, we're using the spinach just to keep the green very lively. Otherwise, it would be not appetizing. So we're going to put some of the leaves away. Whenever they are so small, they are perfect. We call it spinacino. Like this. And they are pretty good. They are like a neutral flavor. So it's very good for blending with the green stuff and keeps your greenness very lively. I would say that's probably enough. Let's take a couple more, especially the small ones. All right. Excellent. Now, one of the things that I say is that anybody can be a chef. And, well, actually, I should say cook, because a chef is just a cook at the head of a brigade, so staff. And I think that in Turkish, you say, oh God, I can't remember.
Aşçı.
No, There's something else.
Usta.
Sen de şefsin. Right? If I say sen de şefsin, that means basically you can be a chef too, right?
That will work.
Okay, good. All right, so we are going to get our little blender. For the special occasion, we use like a small blender. Otherwise, we would use like a professional one, the big one. But it will be not useful for this particular purpose. So we are going to get the zucchini. With the oil and anchovies. We're going to blend them, adding the spinach. In the meanwhile though, and if it is too thick, one of the things we can do is to turn on the water for our pasta. So first we blend. Okay. But I will show you in a second. Look at the greenness. Now. Okay. And look at the greenness after I blend the spinach in. Look at the difference. Much more vibrant, greener, more palatable, more appetizing, more than palatable, I would say. Let's add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We don't need any broth because just in case it's too thick, depending on how much water the zucchini that we are using has. Perfect. Great. So, look at how it is. We're gonna put this in a bowl. We have this. In the bowl, it's going to cool pretty quick because the bowl is cold. And the reason is because we don't want the chlorophyll to be destroyed basically by the heat. This way, we make sure that it cools down very quickly. Our water is boiling. Actually, I'm going to change so that you have a better visual. There it is. Water. And now let's talk about our pasta. One of the reasons for which I use this pasta, not fresh, which you can do, but one of the reasons is because I like to be sturdy. When I have it, you know, I want to make sure basically that the pasta stays, you know, kind of crunchy whenever we eat it. And we're going to throw this in water, just adding a little bit, just a little bit of salt. Because we already have the sauce, which is pretty salty. But whenever you eat pasta, you want to make sure that basically your pasta actually stays salty, even inside. This is very evident with, for instance, bucatini or spaghettoni. So the thicker long pasta. And of course, the short pasta is very easy to realize if the water has been salted before instead of after. Let's be very gentle whenever we try to put it in the pot because we don't want to break them. So we wait just a little bit that the starch is actually jellified so that it becomes slightly softer, and we cook it. Okay? Once we do that, we are going to make sure that our other vegetables are slightly softer in order to be put into the mixture that we just did. And again, we start with a little bit of olive oil. We wait that the pan gets slightly hot. We would just want to soften them up, no more than that. Olive oil. And again, we have a hint of garlic. Put it in there. We are not going to do that to the radish. And the reason is because the radish, any radish, whenever they are heated up, they actually release that kind of like fastidious smell. Whoops. There it is. Okay. So we're going to do that only with the carrots. Put them in. Soften them up for just a few minutes. And then we're going to add them in a bowl wherever we are going to put together with the pasta. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to put this in an empty bowl with the pasta, the carrots, the radish, the orange juice, and we are going to actually add, probably it's better, we're going to add to the just make sure there are no seeds in there. We're going to put the carrots with the orange juice and colatura di alici, which is the anchovy sauce that I was telling you about, so that it gives, again, sapidity to whatever you were doing. mint. A little bit fresh here. We could have added a little bit more mint to the zucchini, but Italian mint, this mint, I couldn't find mentuccia, but the spearmint is very, very invasive. So I prefer to use it into the pasta instead of the zucchini, because if I had found the mentuccia, would have been fine. But the spearmint mint is very strong. The pasta is almost ready. So first we're gonna put the pasta in here with the radish as well. And then we're going to put it in the pasta. We're gonna add some panafrost. It's very delicious pasta. It's basically, it's vegetarian, but we use very good local source of fish. You can tell the pasta is almost ready when it bends this way. We're gonna drain. We're going to drain the pasta and put it in our bowl with the carrots, the radish, the mint, the oil, mix it up. It will give you the impression that it's fairly dry, but it doesn't matter. Don't be tempted to add anything because we have the pesto, to which as a final touch, we are going to add just a little bit of vinegar. The reason is because we want acidity to come from somewhere. And then at this point, we're going to mix the two. Try to use a spoon, no really pair of pliers, pair of thumbs. I don't know why, just because I just moved to some, in a new house, so I'm using a lot of tools. Let's add just a little bit of water because we want it to be creamy enough. And the result should be this. And now we are going to plate it. I would add just a little bit of olive oil. You know, you can never say enough to olive oil. There it is. Gonna make a good portion. We're gonna get some of the sauce on top. And then finally, our final touch, the ricotta salata. I'm gonna get a little bit. We're gonna grate it. It's gonna crumble, it's normal. But the trick is to keep it in the freezer actually. I'm gonna eat that. And this is the dish.
Looks great. Great.
It is really good. Trust me.
Wish we could taste it.
Ah, next year. Next year, we're going to get together and eat it all together. I'll prepare it for you.
That sounds very good. Chef, we have a few questions. Should I just go ahead and
Sure.
ask? Okay, one of our students or participants asked.
Before your questions, I have to say something. The reason I am wearing this glove, it's a pink glove. People might think that, you know, I did that because of my hair or whatever. No, it's because it's Prevention Month for women, for breast cancer. So all whatever is cashed in with these gloves actually goes to research. And the rule is prevention for all women. Go test yourself. Sorry, I had to say that.
I was going to ask this. Thank you. Thank you for bringing up. Also, before the question, I think I should congratulate you about the 3 forks that you received from Gambero Rosso last week. Is that right?
Yes, and yesterday we got confirmed our Michelin star. So,
congratulations, Chef. Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, the question is this. Can we omit mint? And what can we replace fennel or ricotta with an alternative? Is it possible to have an alternative for fennel and ricotta?
For fennel, well, there are several other herbs that are slightly licorices, you know, because fennel is somehow anise. For instance, you have anise over there. Or you can use carrot tops. The carrot tops look like a fennel, and whenever you taste it, it's actually similar. So you can use that. For the ricotta, you can use some kind of pecorino, but honestly, I gotta tell you, I tasted ricotta many times in Turkey. You can do it yourself. The ricotta salata is basically an aged, or you can bake it. You take the entire ricotta, you let it drain as much as possible. You have the most amazing, by the way, well, that's something else I'm gonna tell you later. You can bake it at very, very low temperature until it dries out, and then keep it in the fridge, no cover, for about a day or 2, and you can actually crumble it on top of your pasta. So you can actually make it. You can use some pecorino, of course, but it is so fun to actually make it yourself. Whenever you buy ricotta, a lot of times you're supposed, you know, they make you buy like an entire form, like it's a lot, and you don't know what to do. Let me tell you, you have the most amazing pistachios on earth, and honey. You have incredible honey. One of the things you can do is that you can drain a little bit of ricotta, put honey and pistachio. You can also kind of work that in. You put it in the oven and you let it dry, and then you spread it on top. It's much better than any jam you can ever come across.
That's perfect. Let's see if we have any other questions. Okay, that's the general question. Not from, okay. If you are familiar a little bit with our cheese, they're asking which Turkish cheese can be replaced with pecorino cheese.
The Turkish cheese that can be replaced with pecorino cheese, any kind of aged cheese that comes from sheep. So you can do that, and you have them. I don't know how you call them, but I know I use them. You tend to use a little bit fresher cheese than you would normally do it. But because I noticed that, for instance, the aging of the cheese is not very developed, but probably it's because of the weather. Being very hot, you actually need like some kind of cool, humid areas. And that's probably why aged cheeses are not as popular as in other, European countries.
Okay, and another question, would there be an alternative for anchovy?
Oh God, you wanna change anchovies? No. Well, you could use, in this particular recipe, you can use some soy sauce, but why? I mean, because you don't like anchovies?
We'll keep anchovy then.
No, I mean, you can substitute that with soy sauce because you're still using an ingredient, a fermented one that has that and comes from a vegetable nature. So you could definitely use that. The other thing, I cannot think of anything. Like you can use like some fermented salted rice. But again, you have actually buckwheat. You have fermented buckwheat somewhere. I used it while I was in Turkey to kind of give sapidity without just using the salt.
Yes.
Buckwheat is kara buğday, right?
Yes, we have it.
Yeah, no, I know, I used it.
Exactly. I think it's pretty much it. Thank you very much. It was so lovely to see you, at least virtually, but our hearts are together.
Thank you.
We are looking forward to host you in Turkey in person.
I know, I cannot wait to see Istanbul again. I'm dying. I say that sincerely. It's among all the countries that I traveled to, Turkey is the one that I miss the most.
Oh, that's so kind. Dilek, maybe a few words from you while we're closing.
Okay, Chef Bowerman, thank you. You made a very big difference in our lives. Thank you. It was great to have you. Defne, thank you for hosting all of us here. Luigi, thanks for the collaboration. And students, it was an experience for all of us. And hope to be all together physically next year. Thank you.
Exactly. And I want to thank you all. Luigi Gentile, thank you so much. Dilek, again, I am very, very pleased and honored to be with you today. And see you in Turkey.
Thank you, Chef.
Ciao. Ciao. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.